welcome back to story time. We do have spooky month. Hope you're all getting in the Halloween spirit, not drinking too much, not eating too much sweets or candy if you're in the United States. Now, this week we have Your Frightful Spirit Stayed by Matthew Cash. And I'm reading from an advanced reader's copy, so he may have edited it slightly after he sent me this. It's probably one of my favorite books. Now, it's not getting the amount of attention it should. Really, everybody should just go out and buy this book. The links are below. The links are always below, and submission information and everything exciting. Just check the video description. So, if you want to see my tattoo, that's a robot. I know it flashes up in some of the videos, so it's Sparky the Spunky Robot. There's meant to be a second one. There's meant to be Sandy. You can get that book on Amazon. It's called Sparky the Spunky Robot. There's meant to be Sandy, and there's meant to be an alien in Moonrock and Cal being abducted. The usual kind of cartoonish space stuff. And eventually it will get more serious, but I'm really scared of needles, so I only have the one. So this story, it contains excerpts from the poem Connected to You by Paul B. Morris. Now, I haven't read the poem, so I don't know what part, so we may get some of the poem in there as well. So I'm going to start from the beginning, but you really just need to read the book because the narration's very weird. So it's very cool. It's very spooky. Perfect for Halloween, although we're getting into the Christmas season. Once November 1st, once it's midnight, all the Halloween stuff goes away and, Mariah Carey comes back out. So, right. Last Christmas, what being said is not a lie. I'm still afraid to hold up the mirror. Its reflection resonates a pain within. After all these years, I cannot help but cry. Everything's a donation, from the furniture he sits on to the coins that jangle in his pocket. Charlie gets money from the government once a fortnight. He doesn't know what it's called, doesn't care, just as long as they keep paying. The flat they've given him is dry and cold, but there's a sofa and an old mattress, so he has all he needs. Charlie knows he will find himself again once he has acclimatized with the outside world. A clatter from the spare room brings Charlie from his doze. What the fucking hell is that? Words are harder to pronounce without front teeth, but Duncan understands. The thin and wiry man stands with his back to him, taking in the view, a shadow against the sky, the balcony railing just visible through his spine. Why don't you go have a butcher's? Charlie pushes off his heavy coat and rises from the sunken settee with great difficulty. He aged so much in jail, inside and out. Near crippling pain shoots up his right hip flexor and lower back. He hangs over the coffee table until the hurt fades. He lifts empty lager cans whilst he's bent, gleaning for dregs. They are all dry. You'll get more when you're out, Duncan says slowly and winks at him with his sole remaining eye. Charlie swears as he straightens up and walks stiffly from the lounge to spare bedroom. The door is half bare wood. The other half is painted with a translucent layer of undercoat. 6 bolts are crudely screwed to the door and posted at random intervals. Charlie stares at them like he has never seen them in his life. Inside the room comes the sound of a boy crying. You going to stay with him whilst I ring the security in the center, Charlie? Charlie turns. It's Michelle with her long strawberry blonde hair and nose piercing. Yeah, he says after a fashion. Can't have them bastards nicking off us all the time. I'll hold him in here till the guards get here. He puts his ear to the door and can hear the shoplifting wanker yelling profanities. Charlie leaves the door, grabs his coat. It's cold outside and he needs more booze. Red legs. Charlie looks down at a cheap felt Santa suit covered in dried vomit. It takes him far too long to realize the body inside it is his. Look at the fucking state of you, Duncan says with a chuckle and eyes the flimsy 3-foot Christmas tree with amusement. What a waste of fucking beer money. Charlie watches multicolored lights twinkle through Duncan's fading image. Maybe he would have some peace now. Duncan is right. What a waste of beer money. His head spins as he sits forward to reach for the vodka on the table. Well, at least he didn't waste all of his money. Mac will be happy to see the tree, his dad dressed as Santa. Charlie swallows spirits as he goes to see his son. He unlocks the 6 bolts. His hands don't tremble like they did when he locked them. He pushes open the door. The smell hits him. The fucking kid must have pissed the bed again. Never mind, it's Christmas. He's only little. A chest of drawers, painted black, lies on its front, one of the drawers smashed against the bare tiled floor. Black mold speckles the window surrounds like a corruption from the town outside is creeping in around the seams. Soggy wallpaper hangs in loose strips like ribbons of flayed flesh. What the fuck have you done to your room, Mac? Charlie says, shaking over his son's betrayal. The bed is a mess, just blankets strewn on the filthy floor. He thrusts a thumb into the crust of vomit on his chest. I dressed as Father Christmas to surprise you, and this is what you do. Why, son, why? Mac is hardly recognizable. His hair is different. He has grown, wears different clothes the way he normally does. He is in dire need of a bath. For a moment, Charlie worries it's not even his son. Why is his son so scared and dirty? Why is his son holding the front of a drawer like a baseball bat? Charlie frowns, but when he moves into the room, all is okay, as it should be. Posters on the wall, and toys, toys, toys. Mac is back to his normal, cheeky little 6-year-old self, the cute mess of blonde curls, the same as Beth's when she had been little. He has her eyes, too, and they beam up at him with childish glee as he sees Charlie dressed as Father Christmas. Mac holds something in his hand. Charlie can't make out what it is, a teddy bear or something. He can't focus. What's that, Mackie boy? What you got for me, son? I'm not your fucking son, his son says as he swings the teddy bear around. Charlie sits up and coughs gruel into his lap. His left eye is wielded shut with something sticky. His head hurts so much it makes him retch when he touches fingertips to inspect it for injuries. His hand comes back red. He is on the floor of his empty spare room and has no idea how he got there or why he is dressed as Santa. On his hands and knees, he goes into the lounge, slumps onto the sofa using the seat as a backrest, and looks lazily at the window. The sky outside is a spectrum of orange, gray, and navy blue, the closest it gets to complete darkness in the town center. Charlie isn't sure if it's early morning or night. He snorts through the back of his nose and fights a wave of hot nausea that comes as snot slides down the back of his throat like an oyster. Yeah. Coughs rack his chest. He grabs hold of the Christmas tree. It topples over the coffee table and onto the floor. Now you see it, says Leon O'Hara with his sparse hair, perpetual running nostrils, his light bulb-shaped head. He waves a hand theatrically over the gap where the tree was, then claps his hands, splaying his fingers wide. Now you don't. Merry Christmas, Leon, Charlie smiles at his childhood friend. Love you, mate. Leon gives the smallest of smiles before taking his seat on the sofa. His back ramrod straight, hands on his knees. My name's Leon, and I love magic. Hocus pocus, Charlie says, and just like magic, he notices there is still a half bottle of vodka left. Leon nods, passing his hands slowly in front of his face. A blast of Mariah Carey singing one of her festive hits floats through into his fortress. Remember this one, Matt says, lowering his hands, smoothing back wet hair over the bloody caved-in section of his skull. He wipes his palms on the sofa. She was the only woman I ever fancied. None of the windows are open. The music has no right entering his flat. Fucking neighbors. Charlie slurs and swigs from the bottle. Everybody needs good neighbors, Matt half sings and walks over the fallen tree and decorations. I don't want a lot for Christmas. Charlie doesn't want a lot for Christmas. He doesn't even want Christmas. So why is there a fucking tree? He kicks it across the room until it huddles in the corner, victimized and injured, the red baubles trailing behind it like blood. Charlie crushes every single one into a sharp, glittery mess. Why is he wasting money on a tree? There is nothing in the room that can answer his question, nothing out of the ordinary, just the normal garbage. Then he spots the alien object on the coffee table, the lower half of a Christmas card, Santa's legs trampling through the snow. He doesn't dare touch it, fears the familiar tiny handwriting inside. Remembers what it says. Merry Christmas, Charlie. Maybe when you get yourself sorted, Mac will come round. You'll be able to meet Agnes. Best wishes, Beth, Adam, and Mac. Is that why you bought the damn tree? Is that why you dressed up as fucking Father Christmas? Duncan chuckles from the darkness of the kitchen. Your kid's 24, you daft cunt. Why the fuck would he want to see Santa? Charlie closes the sliding hatch between lounge and kitchens. He is never festive. Even when Mac was growing up, he was always a miserable bastard at Christmas. They called him the Grinch. Beth and Mac, lovingly, jokingly at first. Maybe his heart was 2 sizes too small, too. The last Christmas he remembers enjoying was when he was a kid. This time of year is suffocating. You can choke to death on the false happiness and goodwill. Everybody left him in December. Mom, Dad, Michael's motorcycle accident was during that lull between Boxing Day and New Year. Even poor sweet Leon with his brain hemorrhage. For Charlie, December is about taking, not receiving. Winter claimed more than his fair share of his family and friends. The ghosts always show up to pay their respects at Christmas, whether you welcome them or not. There's just one fucking thing I need. Fucking Mariah Carey again. Bastards must have it on repeat. Duncan stares down at him in his semi-comatose state. Fuck off, Charlie whispers as he mashes the neck of the vodka bottle between his gums. I don't care about presents underneath the Christmas tree. He needs to drink himself into a coma to get rid of the presents underneath his Christmas tree. Somewhere in his jumble of a brain, he knows his visitations are mutated growths on some rotten morsel buried in his psyche. Post-traumatic something or other. Someone told him once. He forgets where, when, and who. Charlie pulls the throw off the sofa and wraps it around himself, hugging the bottle of vodka like a baby, vaguely wondering about this mess in his spare bedroom. He dozes. When he wakes up, the room is black and freezing. The throw is gone. The tip of his nose is numb with cold, as is every other exposed patch of skin. The balcony door is open wide. Something flaps in the darkness. From somewhere else, Mariah Carey continues. Well, that's a horror story in itself. The last few inches of vodka sloshes in the bottle. He knocks it back and closes the door. It makes little difference to the lack of light and warmth in the room, but he draws the one remaining curtain against the purple night and the flashing blue lights. Licorice, black and thick like chunks of leather, engulfs him. He is there. Charlie ignores the apparition and curses his increasing tolerance for spirits. All kinds. Sweet, unconscious oblivion is the only way to deal with Duncan. He is always in the room, but now he is stronger than ever. Charlie feels him, hears the whine of his congested lungs. Charlie forces himself forwards, away from the presence, unable to resist confirmation anymore. No, you're not real. You're in my head. The doctor said it was possible to talk yourself out of these episodes. Duncan laughs in his face and Charlie pisses himself. He tries to regulate his breathing, yoga breathing in 1, 2, 3, hold, out, 2, and projectile vomit. Come with me down Diamond Drive, Duncan, more solid than ever, starts to croon. Charlie stands in his wet pajama bottoms as Duncan sings the lyrics of the children's program that has haunted him for a lifetime. No, he screams, his eyes blur with tears, and swings the vodka bottle by the neck. The bottle arcs through the freezing air and strikes the chimney breast, showering his hand with glass shards. Duncan laughs and begins whistling the theme tune he was singing. He spins in the center of the room, arms out like the comedian at the start of an old children's program. His long corporal body fades out into the coffee table. You're not there, Charlie yells and swings the broken bottle through Duncan's body. You're not there. Tears flow as he says it again. This time it's more of a plea. You're not there. Oh, but I am, Jacob, Duncan says, and Charlie feels cold fingers encircle his wrist. Charlie opens his eyes, shocked at actual contact, and sees Duncan half illuminated by the blue lights that come through the window. The moonlight picks out at the warped craters of his burnt skin, and the hollow where his left eye is deep, dark, edged with a crescent of white bone. Charlie screams at the apparition, wrenches his hand from its grasp. The jagged bottom of the broken bottle of vodka rakes across his exposed throat. Charlie whimpers at the pain, at the gash in his neck. Duncan laughs as arterial blood from Charlie's neck decorates the wall. Charlie staggers forward, drops the bottle, clutches the throw to the ragged wound. He falls onto his settee, reaches towards his phone. Leon O'Hara smiles sadly. Now you see him. Now you don't. No, Charlie gurgles. The battery icon flashes empty. He drops the phone, too weak to move anymore. Duncan hangs over him. Charlie can't keep his hand against the gash in his throat. His arm flops down. The throw, sodden with blood, gathers in his wet lap. Come with me down Diamond Drive, sings Duncan. One burnt hand held out, waiting whilst Charlie dies. Charlie sees the last intact Christmas bauble on the massacred tree through Duncan's transparent chest. It's like a heart. Blackness creeps in around the seams of the room, just like the mold in the spare room where he kept the boy. Like Duncan, he too is fading. Charlie welcomes the sweet oblivion like a forgotten friend, for he is sure that Duncan can't follow him where he is now and going. Inside. The dream always begins the same way. Fist of khaki anorak, a gaunt, red-cheeked youth with a ruddy clown smirk of blood above his crooked mouth. It turns from bemused sneer to shocked "oh" in the millisecond that he realizes Charlie let go of his coat. He's flying through the air. Charlie sees the lad's white fingers reach out to grab as he goes back into the stairwell. At the foot of the stairs, a security guard, late 50s, dark glasses, obvious dyed black mustache and hair. Charlie recognizes him from the shopping center. He looks like Andy Kaufman's alter ego, Tony Clifton. The shoplifter smashes into the sloped ceiling above the stairs. His head snaps forward, as does his body, as he drops to the metal that edge steps. He lands hard, rolls backwards, head over heels 3 times, his head and neck buffering, whipping at unnatural angles with each rotation. He comes to a stop at the security guard's feet, upside down, body lying awkwardly on the steps, head between polished boots. Charlie rushes down the stairs, but can already see death in the boy's eyes. He's seen it before. Tony Clifton removes his glasses, looks up at Charlie like he's about to have a stroke, and the spectacles in his hand melt into a wooden gravel. His black jacket puffs out bat wings into Judge Griffin's ceremonial robes. Clifton's face stays the same. His accusatory stare, the only thing that remains solid as everything else bleeds into the rich mahogany of the courtroom. Legal suits, pinched faces, bright overhead lights, a silence only broken by breath. Clifton is now Judge Griffin. The words that come out of his mouth are non-essential, forgotten, misheard, not at all understood by Charlie as he stands awaiting his sentence. The jurors are all people he knows. They all stand with their index fingers pointing at him as though they're about to cry witch. Leon O'Hara is in the front room. Twin translucent slug trails glisten from nostril to lip. In one of his flattened palms is a rotary dial telephone, shiny red. He gazes at it in pure wonder, big, wet, happy tears in his eye. Beside him, Shane, exactly how Charlie remembers him on television, older, thinner than when they were kids, bald, gaunt, and with hooded eyes that do not seem capable of holding more than just one secret. Johnny, Shane's cohort, was how Charlie had seen him last. Short, rodently, with a scruff of hair that was nondescript color, somewhere strange between blonde and black. Matt is next to Leon, handsome, well-groomed, muscular, but with half of his head caved in and dripping. A figure wearing a motorcycle helmet and leathers run ragged by the road stands behind his friends. Michael's a zombie, living dead roadkill. Further along is a hospital bed stood vertical with a shriveled yellow corpse thing that used to be his father. It's weak and brittle like a day-old chick, but manages to raise a finger. Charlie's brother is propped up by his dear old mom, who just cries and cries and cries between her tarmac-infused eldest and cancer-kissed husband. Another juror is Michelle, that lovely girl who he got too close to at work. The bit of fun that they had called it happened more than once, and he wasn't able to let it go as easily as she did. Beth is next. She eyes Michelle with hypocritical, jealous rage. Charlie still feels the bitterness of her infidelity even in his dream, even after all these years. Mac, his beautiful boy, is familiar, but with a stranger besides his mother. This is a future image of him. His vista never stays still. He rapidly blurs through puberty into a man before his eyes, becoming taller, broader, hairier, all the things in which Charlie is going to miss. You're going down, aren't you? Ain't you? Judge Griffin lifts his wig to reveal a burnt bald scalp and half-distinguished facial features. The man with 2 faces. Duncan will be the one to pass judgment on him. You're going down, he says, another name other than Charlie, and it takes Charlie far too long to remember it. It still means him. More words come out of Duncan, but Charlie now spots 2 bags, the shoplifter by his feet, bloody nose, neck all bent all wrong, dead, but not letting a minor technicality like death stop him from cackling up at his murderer and hissing abuse. all speak at once, their words and phrases different in length and tone, to the backing track of a motorcycle crash. Together, they make a strange and hateful choir. Murderer, you're going down. Now you see him, now you don't. It was only a bit of fun, Charlie. We were both drunk. Nonce. Dad, I'm dying, son. Why couldn't you just talk to me? And presiding over it all is Duncan. The gavel, as if by magical zap from master musician Leon O'Hara, has exploded into a rainbow umbrella and is now raining on the courtroom as he dances and sings, "Come, come with me down Diamond Drive." And the rain is red, 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 and the people all begin to sing the same words now, the same word: murderer, 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 murderer. Okay, I'm going to stop there. You really, really need to get this book. It's called Your Frightful Spirit Stayed. Links down below. My throat hurts. And please hit subscribe. And, you know, there's new story time every week, usually. So thank you for viewing, and I will see you next week. Oh, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. Yay! Hit subscribe. Subscribe.